Hi, it's Annie Painter again with Little Art Dog at Annie's Art Institute. You have probably already done color mixing orange, green, violet, neutrals with me and major color wheel. And I have to tell you that until I was a school principal, I never truly understood all the things that need to go into a good art lesson when you're in a public school, for example, or even when you're in a big family. Cost matters, time matters, space matters, and having a lesson that people pay attention to that makes the kids proud, that matters. And paint chips seem to be one of my answers, so I'd love to show you what I've done here. These are paint chips. You recognize them as just pieces of paper, just like you used when you made your color wheel. A little bit different though, I put lots of paint on them. And I use them as watercolor paints. Let me show you. Woo! In another lesson, I'm going to do some projects with this, but just for now to show you, I did a little drawing based on my flowers here with a dark crayon so that the waxy crayon would resist the paint. And now, using a regular paper plate and my paint chips, I will make myself a palette. People of any age who know how to color mix will have a lot more fun with this, but you still can do it if you're just starting with me on Lesson 7 paint chips, if you're just beginning. And now we begin. I'm going to paint upside down so that you can see it happen. Now if I asked you, how do we get paint out of dry pieces of paper, what would you say? Most children who have, or grown-ups, my students, will say you add water back, and that's exactly what happens. So you take a stiff easel brush, I'm using a smaller one because I have small places to paint, and watch. So adding water back, I think I'll have some yellow in my picture. I'm going to push pretty hard on my brush and count to 5, 3, 4, 5 to get some paint on it, and paint. Isn't that beautiful? What a wonderful surprise. It's just about magic. And in terms of cost, this only costs about 9 cents per child to make these paint chips. Probably take you about 10 minutes if you're making a classroom set or a family set. And the space is obviously very efficient, just a desk, a table, a floor. It works almost anywhere, and it's very portable because take it on a trip, take it on a field trip. Now let's get some oranges in there. Let's start with some magenta. Oh, I'll do some magenta first, a magenta stem. I've tested this with all ages, kindergarten through adult, and it's a huge hit. You get the idea. And now I'm sure you want to know how to make those chips. Let me show you. Okay, so when you're making your paint chips, you're going to want to use a white sulfite drawing paper. Again, this list will be on my website for you so you know where to buy it. I am using our tempera paint, which is washable and non-toxic. This brand is Crayola, but use whatever you think works. Yellow, cyan or turquoise when you order it, and magenta. Let's make a sheet of turquoise. Cyan. Now, I don't even use a brush to put it on. If you're an adult making it, this is about the best way to do it. If students are making it, you would use a palette and a brush and have them brush on. But I'm going to show you just about how much I start with. And an inexpensive utility brush. And lightly, you don't want to press hard, because what you're trying to do is to deposit enough paint on there that when the students, or you, start to paint, they have plenty to get off when they add water. That's great. And we'll add a little more on the edges. And you can go right off onto your newspaper so that the entire sheet of paper is covered with the color that you're making. Now, interestingly enough, this can be a classroom set, as we'll have enough paper here to make 36 paint chips. And that's that. You'll let it dry. Sometimes it takes overnight or even a day and a half when it's that thick. And now let me show you how you cut it up and make your chips. So here I am with a dry piece of paper. You can see how stiff it is. I'm going to flip it over, and just for demonstration, I already marked 3-inch squares on it. You could just chop it up on the paper cutter, chop it up with scissors. Don't even worry about the ruler unless if you want to just make pieces that are freehand cut. But in this way, you can see that you could get 36 paint chips, enough for many projects, just in about 10 minutes of putting paint on paper. From Annie's Art Institute and Little Art Dog, have a colorful day. And join me again for lesson number 8, making painted paper that's big for use in your 3-dimensional and collage projects.